Some of my favorite memories go way back when we were maybe like the age of 12 to 14 in early high school at St. Rita. Well, we used to work after school. Charlie and I, we worked at Des Plaines Valley News. Might have heard of it. 5 cents a copy. Charlie was on the linotype, and he had a pretty important job. Me, I was working on the old hand presses. Now they're all automatic, and my main thing was not to get my hand caught in there while the press was going back and forth. My supervisor would say that, you're printing 500 business cards for Pete DeCola's Tavern, and I think you got about 114 on the floor. Well, I was going so damn fast, I was crooked. I could tell when they're crooked, I just threw them over my shoulder. So anyway, that was kind of a lot of fun. Now, when Charlie was on a linotype, and I was working in hand presses, our boss, Joe Pekarski, during the summertime, we had no ventilation. So he had that long coat on with a sun visor from the old days. And so he was feeling the heat too. So he sent me for a watermelon. At that time it was like 50 cents for a watermelon. And we all split up and split the watermelon and had a piece of it. And so we kind of enjoyed that. Then the other thing while we were working there, my brother was always, even in those days, I knew he was pretty much of a problem solver and kind of creative, instead of finding out what other people are doing as kids. And he says, you know what, we're playing a lot of softball. What if we organize and get like about 6 or 8 teams, kids all over between Argo and Summit, and we get uniforms, and we get sponsors, and we get people coming to the game. I said, you gotta be nuts. You sound like old man Comiskey or something. Well, little by little, it took effect, see? So now, our situation at the Des Plaines Valley News was, I think we could get Joe Pekarski sponsor a couple of uniforms for the two of us. And we called our team the Ravens. In those days, we played 16-inch softball, okay? So we went over to Joe, and we said, well, can you sponsor the two of us for uniforms? A lot of the kids are getting sponsors. They're going to Pete DeCola's, Dorcas, whatever. Make it look like, you got to fit in with the rest of them. How much do the uniforms cost? It's $10 a piece. Whoa, he says, it's kind of heavy. That was for a shirt and pants. $10. And we said, well, so-and-so are doing it, and so-and-so are doing it. He says, okay. So we kicked in. We had Des Plaines Valley News on the back of our jerseys. Now here's something that's unusual. Now that's going back, I'd say about 1947. Until today, we get subscriptions from Des Plaines Valley News paid for all those years. We never figured it out. Why aren't we getting these free papers? We never subscribed. Somebody forgot to pull our names off. I'm not going to say anything. And the other thing about being kind of a problem solver, with the 16-inch ball, we play almost every day in the summer until that ball would fall apart. And then it would fall apart. You couldn't hit it anymore. Charlie would say, no problem. Give me about 15 minutes and I go home and sew it. He get some heavy thread or a string and on a great big needle, then he would sew it up and we'd finish the game. Sometimes you only have one bat. Now if we played hardball, we'd crack a bat. We don't throw it away, you only got one bat. But we'd still play with that one broken bat. The next day, he put screws in it and tape around it. We'd have it for about 3 years. And then we'd probably go to Central Billiards in Summit and buy a new bat, And we had the old-time gloves and that, but we had a lot of fun. So anyway, we created the Ravens, which was a softball team. We won the championship. There was about 6 or 8 teams. And this was before Little League. He was ahead of his time, you know. He started all this. Each team, each area, plowed a field of some kind. You know, they cut the grass, they made whitewash for a foul line. And we had what we call Kennedy's Field on 62nd Street. That was our field, see? And we had a lot of fun doing that. And I guess the last thing would be the hardball. Now, we would knock that cover off the ball after several games, and no problem. He had adhesive tape from the medical section of Walgreens. About 4 rolls of adhesive tape. And the next game, he had that tape all around that ball. It looked like a brand new ball with that nice white tape on it. And we used it for about 10 more games. I mean, we really got to be resourceful. And he was #1 in being resourceful. Last thing I want to throw is kind of a serious note. I know he would never say it, and a lot of people are unaware of this. But when he went to Xavier High School for 4 years, he was #1 student out of over 300 kids for 4 years.